lead. I'm excited to see how it's going to shake out going into this match. See who's going to be coming out on top right away. Knife down A, which is actually where Soniqs wants to be starting this off. And they're just pressing the W key and they're going through the nebula. Trades are going to be had. Trying to peek out deep around the corner, but with the flash, being able to come on top, but it's not going to be enough. Pioneers going to take the pistol round, take an early lead.
Nothing makes me happier than those really quick pistol runs. I know there's a lot of hesitation happening in teams where you know the value of a pistol run. You know how hard it can be. But I think this is one of the maps that even sometimes enables players that lose that first round to even buy a little bit more than usual. It's not going to be all of that save run until the third one. So you have the confidence as you're going in, getting the kills right away. And we see that oftentimes because is Haven, because the defense has to make it such a long rotation, then you have the numbers advantage on that side, exactly what we saw from them. And now going into another one that should be just a transition round for this side of Pioneers.
And for that transition round, it looks like Soniqs wants to be testing their luck over in B. Knife to try and clear out the end, but at this point, just a big gun diff coming out. Soniqs are going to take 2 down, though, in the shuffle. Pick up a couple of guns and maybe try and hold this link, try and get this angles.
I want to see how they're going to be playing this one. It's going to be a 3v2 towards the end. Any sort of a economy is looking beneficial, but nothing else can be done. And We Did is actually going to get away with it. The last elimination going to Bob. And with that one, again, there's a pretty transitional round that we see. This one, though, is where we want to keep the eyes on Soniqs and what they can do with the rifles.
Yeah, I feel like the third, fourth round, this is where we start to actually really get to test out what these teams are about. The pistol round, there are some cheeky strategies. I feel like those can sometimes go either way. The next round, we all know how that goes. But now that there's a bit more even footing, actually, there is an op for Nears. So
already, yeah.
I know.
That is...
Might actually be pretty even footing, wanting to just go for that buy-up. But JMO's going to be using that op over in A short. And look, there's already a couple of members on the other side. Bob, a little jump peek around the corner. Gonna test luck, but that old drone comes out. JMO is gonna be forced to back up.
Now we start seeing the hesitation. If you have the Spectres, you want to play those close angles as well. You don't want to push in for the distance, and for those distance duels that they can affect your team and yourself a lot. You can get taken out pretty easily because the Spectre is sometimes hard to manage. So the rotation is going to come through from A to C. What they don't know is that the Reyna is waiting in the corner, actually playing pretty aggressive.
The angle already just peeks around, takes a kill, just misses out, but doesn't quite get around the box and takes the damage. But chasing the down, any push out onto site, gonna be shut down. He's Danny being able to get the kill. And already, look at how many members of Pioneers just stacked up on this site. And there's only 30 seconds left now for Soniqs to make a move.
I love the way that we saw Thief making that rotation all the way to the backside of A. Needed to, because they didn't have any more time. And again, is able to get 2 more towards the end. It was a really good communication going on for a set of Pioneers to make it happen and get away with even stealing a couple guns from the enemy team. And it is really hard to make. We saw Thief actually looking towards Garage, but also making sure that no one else was going to push long, and got away with 1 kill immediately. Making sure that she's hiding, she's changing that position and guaranteeing the round where, more than anything, JMO is able to keep the operator.
Yeah, and now going into this 4th round, Soniqs on Sheriffs. And that hurts. You want to be winning that buy-up round. And looks like they're going to be testing their luck at A with those Sheriffs. Try and go for the angles, but Amo already holding it down with the op. Grabbing 2 kills, and any pressure up short is going to not result so well for Pioneers. A fast little round to get the Sheriffs over and done with.
Not really expecting much there, but now we start seeing a little bit of the momentum that we talked about early on, going for the set of Pioneers. And it is one of the things that we want to fear in getting those opening picks with the operator more than anything. I feel like if there's someone that has to care about the mental game more than anything, is those Jets that like to handle the operator. The minute that you're not hitting those shots is when you start to worry, when you start to think about what you can do differently. So getting those is going to be crucial to continue building what Pioneers is able to do on this map.
Ooh, I love the little flash over. Cloudburst just poking right through that, but gonna be revealed with the recon ult nonetheless. But maybe trying to peek it anyways. The rest of the team, though, kind of spreading out. Sonic's kind of looking to see what they can make happen for themselves.
Maybe a slower push this time around into A, while a couple members making sure that no one's going to be on the flank, like we see the Astra doing. Watching every single angle. I want to see how fast they want to go into the side. There's two members, one watching on that lobby, the other one watching long. Getting some information. We know that drone crucial to do that. It seems like now they're looking forward to go in.
Did the drone catch out the Reyna, though? I feel like they don't quite know exactly how many people might just be up waiting for them at this point. Around trades, out, but Soniqs managing to push out onto site, take advantage, and only 2 left for Pioneers, and look how split up they are on the map.
And two completely different sides. So the question is, can they jump into that side at the same time? You gotta be careful, even especially with the jet that we talked about. You don't want to lose the operator. You don't want to give the operator to the enemy team who has been and continues to struggle with the economy. So maybe trying to get some frags as everyone tries to run away and making sure that they don't get taken down early on is everything that you're hoping for. But I like this. This is smart from this set of Pioneers. Watching every corner, getting really close to the Astra. Yep, we'll be actually connecting that kill. And nothing else can be done. Just waiting for it to be done. But everyone is actually trying to play aggressive here.
Look at them, just waiting on the other side. JC Annie knows that there's somebody here. They're all lurking, they're all waiting, but one is all that he's gonna be getting, but one is better than none. And Soniqs with that same mentality, finally the first point on the board.
A couple ultimates that we're gonna be seeing come up potentially on this round. I really want to see the Tour of the Forest. We talked about it early on before we jump into the match. It can be so fun to see, especially if you know this attacking side. You want to play a little bit faster. You even want to play for the post. You're gonna try to use that gun and get as much advantage as you can early on. As everyone's slowly peeking, but the patience for J-Mon making sure that the operator is not gonna get the kills too early, actually. So a lot of patience here, a lot of information game more than anything that the attacking team is gonna play before using anything else.
And nobody willing to quite peek, but as soon as the nebula goes up, Jaesung decides, you know what? I want a little piece of this action. Swings around. You love it when you can eagle peek an op and take it. And that's a big opening pick right out of the gate going into this round.
It's a 4-1 that we see in the... the more that we see those runs, the more that we start seeing the attacking team playing for information. Obviously, being able to buy those abilities, that utility, that can be so crucial. Like we see the drone immediately going in and dash. Jet, I don't think they know exactly where she is, Jet. And you've already getting taken down. Everyone taking control of the side for the side of Soniqs. There's only a Cypher remaining.
Wow, what a push out onto site. And Soniqs did it flawlessly there. The null command as well. Nobody from Pioneers was safe. And now we can't even try anything cheeky. The 0 point ensuring that this point, I feel like it's only good for just seeing how many kills you can get.
Peeking, actually playing pretty aggressive here for We Did. Will not be coming up on top, will not be getting any more kills besides that last one that we saw. And without 42, where Soniqs is starting to look a little bit better, keeping those guns, keeping those abilities. And even then, I like the patience, I like the almost hesitation that we see before rushing into the sides. It's a lot of the plays that you can see in Haven more than anything. You're about the information game. Good for the defense and the attacking side. So using that drone early on, trying to catch anyone or at least make 1 or 2 members on that side go away, try to play for the post altogether, but it's so difficult to execute. So once again, the attacking team of Soniqs is gonna get some information towards A, but a little bit more spread out. And I'm looking at Crunchy in the mid doors, getting very close, trying to catch anyone off guard. That should guarantee a little bit more confidence for either a potential rotation or even right away rushing into site.
Yeah, or even just keeping a distraction over here. You see, there's two already there's one posted up in the window, and then holding that garage angle as well, but not going to quite commit to it. Crunchy going to be backing out. Nobody peeked. Nobody really looking to give Crunchy the time of day. And now it looks like it might be one of those nice coordinated pushes out onto A. There's only 2 on site. There is the Nebulas as well to be cutting this down, and all of a sudden your 0 Point can start getting some information, but a push through the Nebula, Crunchy, gonna be taken out right out of the gate, and with that, a rotation's already happening. This isn't as safe as it once was for Soniqs.
Yeah, and their recon ball also detecting someone, but the numbers advantage and the cosmic divide will be coming through, making sure that pushing into any of the sides is going to be almost impossible, and running out of time, this attacking team, they don't have the numbers advantage, but they can get something done. It's gotta be as fast as they can, though.
Yeah, definitely don't have time to be messing around. The flash drive through, not going to work out either for Jason. Hunter's Fury trying to clear some space, but as the push comes out and the trades come out, all of a sudden, it's going to be Soniqs finding themselves at a disadvantage. At this point, there's no time to plant. You do not have to entertain this whatsoever. Critical, still just going to take the free kill on the way out.
Even the rotation to B seemed impossible. It was less than 30 seconds remaining. It would have taken a little bit longer, and there was a couple of the members from the defense or the set of Pioneers still hesitant if they wanted to make that full rotation into A or say some of them B. So it worked out perfectly in the way that they wanted to execute that plan, and now being able to get away with the round as well. I love seeing the Hunter's Fury as well. Any of those ultimates and even those abilities, the utility that Soba is able to have more than anything else makes this agent as strong as he is. And I think one of the things I mentioned early on is kind of a new meta against the old meta. One thing you'd never ignore and you never forget about is that Soba, because I mean, so far has done so much.
For sure. Just the amount of intel that you can be getting, as well as, you know, the little shock dart that we get to see up close and personal to try and clear out those tight angles. Very nice, but not going to be able to clear this one out. Already 2 holding in garage. Critical up in the window to kind of entertain Crunchy, but there's going to be Thief just in that close angle, just waiting for somebody to come push. But the push is going to go towards B instead. There is this Cypher utility set up here past the Nebula, so when it comes down to it, it will be a dangerous push out onto site, but utility destroyed means they can do it safely enough for the moment. That Hunter's Fury that you are hyping up coming out to play. Not going to be able to get the kills, but at this point, with 30 seconds left, can at least even up the scoreline.
Oh, and planning for B, but it's not going to come up on top. They didn't expect Thief to make that whole rotation. Being able to get 2 kills here, and it's a 4v2. There's not much to do for Sonic. Only Ian remaining. I already know where this player is going to be, also in the long rotation, and those flanks that everyone going in the backline makes such a difference here. But this time around, it's all about the timing working out perfectly. Does get one.
Managed to pop around the corner, get both of them, and the spike isn't even oh, it is halfway. It was just managed to get halfway before the peak came out, and Ian, fantastic kills to try and keep that round alive, but we did coming out on top in that engagement.
A really good round as well, nonetheless. The plan for Window and to watch from Window, as they were backing up, they just didn't expect the Reina to be able to connect those kills or to even be there at all. Definitely expecting her in one of those more standard positionings into B, or at least looking forward to push into B with the rest of the team, but it almost worked out. Unfortunate for Ian. Needed to connect that kill or at least play for time a little bit more. Seems like it could have been more effective. Speaking, a crucial mistake there. Now it's gonna be the Blade Storm already working out for Demon. Immediately denies what Crunchy wanted to do there.
Jet v Jet, but Pioneers gonna be coming out on top with that aggressive little engagement, and now having to, you know, reevaluate a little bit, it looks like, because that push did not go as planned.
I mean, they wanted to immediately go in, use all of those Jet abilities using that tailwind to get some advantage, but immediately denied by the defense. So Pioneers continue to stay on top. You definitely don't know where that Ian is here. Oh, they don't expect it.
They have no clue. Ian able to pop around on the most perfect of flanks and grab 2 kills, and that is going to shift this momentum over in Soniqs' favor as the plant comes down. And look at this, the tour de force, but it missed. Critical, able to get the headshot and take it down. We don't even get to see that in action this time around, and I'm a little sad for that, not gonna lie. But it is gonna be the round of the ultimates, and the Cosmic Divide is gonna make this not very easy for Pioneer to try and get any room out onto site. We'll see that. A little push through hell, not going too well for Thief. And all of a sudden, time running out. Only 2 left. And at this point, there's no point in playing this. Pioneer's just going to be backing up, try and get these exits and save these guns.
Saving the gun is all they can try to do here. And I love seeing for a second, it was so funny, the confusion for Jima turning around, realizing that someone was in the flank. It was the longest flank for Ian. Because it was a slow push, turning around, like, wait a second. You're not supposed to be here. And even trying to get the kills, Ian almost missed that shot, but was able to connect it in time, and it working out perfectly. Once again, for the side of Soniqs, who are putting up a fight, are slowly coming back, but the thing is that they haven't won more than 2 rounds in a row, right? We're starting to see it. So even with those rifles that they're continuing to buy, still not looking ideal, and I'm looking now at what Pioneers is trying to get.
Yeah, though, maybe they're not quite winning the rounds, but at the same time, there is going to be a full buy-up from Pioneers, but there is also 2 of them with only the light armor, so there's enough damage being done, but the damage is also being done on the stream. There is a little bit of a tech pause, but so far into this game, I feel like it's been good from both teams. I feel like Soniqs is starting to find their footing a bit more. Pioneers out with the early lead, but oh, tech pause is done. That was a fast one. I think that might be the fastest tech pause we've seen in a hot second.
Yeah, luckily making it fast, and now once again all that information that is going to be gained into A side. It seems like Soniqs, they really like going to the A, getting some information. That is going to be the teller of everyone to see there or not. They tried to do it again, but of course the Nebulos is going to deny a lot of space. I want to see for how long though. They want to definitely play for those picks more than anything. The spike.
I have the spike
on the floor for a couple seconds. Now ready to go on this attacking side of Soniqs. Potentially making a rotation, ideally into B. I mean, it almost worked out last time.
Yeah, I mean, how many times can you go over to A before the site starts becoming, you know, unplayable? 3 members of Pioneers stacked up over there, but Soniqs still kind of playing around with that, and I mean, that's gonna work out. Crunchy pops around with a nice little 2K, and you know, A, maybe it might get old after a while, but not this time around. This is just gonna be our playground. This is going to be our site. And now 5 alive. There's only 1 left for Pioneers, and it's going to be weeded against the world. And 5v1, I don't think this is going to go too well, Dan.
Yeah, nothing else can be done, and it was all about the opening the Crunchy was able to get. It was absolutely massive, getting 2 towards the beginning. Not really expecting the weird dude was going to be there. It does get taken down, but now the location is going to be revealed. Towards Blake, Aggressive does get another one, but that's going to be denied right away. And at 6-4, though, we jump into the attackers, able to win another round for the side of Soniqs, and slowly but surely making a comeback on this first half. There's not many opportunities left, but at least you want to guarantee another one, right? You want to guarantee the 66, where the defense can be maybe a little bit more beneficial for the side of Soniqs on the second half.
I mean, they're only 2 rounds away, and Pioneers, that last round took a toll on them. Sheriff's on the board, a couple of marshals just to make it exciting, but it's not looking too fantastic. And Soniqs out of the gate going to be taking advantage. A little kill, a little rendezvous out of their fantastic chamber gameplay. You absolutely love to see it. And despite the fact that Pioneers can try and get back a little bit, the kills are going to be traded out. And a little bit of momentum shift in terms of Sonic. And I mean,
wait,
all right, just kidding. Pioneers are here to fight. The little pop around the corner. But pushing up too far that way means site is going to be exposed. There's nobody over here. It will be a safe plant for Soniqs.
What was that classic kill? What did he just
The classic
see?
right click. It will always come out on top. It will get ya.
Oh, and now looking forward to push together for the side of Pioneers. The trade is going to be there, but still, numbers advantage not quite there for the side of JCC. Trying to get a little bit more. This is really getting anything they can early on. The flash is going to connect pretty well. And going in gets harder and harder the more that we see it. Even taking some damage. Oh, and with 27 HP. How is he getting away with this?
Not gonna have time, but no damage from the shock darts. I almost think that has to be a little bit of a win in itself. Popping around to look for that last kill will go down, but I feel like that,
Last round
all things considered, was a pretty decent round. Pioneers. That was a lot closer than it had to be with the weapons that they had.
Absolutely. It was definitely way closer than they wanted to. Way closer for comfort because a lot of those guns absolutely disappeared, got taken down early on, and even gave them some for this for the other side. So even then, it's still pretty close. This is going to be the last one that we see before the second half, and it's going to guarantee how close Soniqs can get. Maybe trying to match the 66.
Ooh. Starting the round off, a push up A long. JC Sandy trying to push up through A short, catch somebody off guard, will be taken down. And enough noise being made over on A. Gonna be a little bit of a rotation out, but it's not gonna be quiet or sneaky. JMO is going to catch it, but also gonna catch a bullet to the dome. And all of a sudden, Soniqs already on pace to be able to push out onto his site. Are already 2 taken out for Pioneers.
We haven't seen a C plant as well happening for Soniqs on this entire first half. They are definitely hesitant to make it work. They're hesitant to make it happen. And going through this long, it can be terrifying, right? You don't know exactly where the enemy is going to be, where the defense is, but they have a massive advantage here. And it seems like they're figuring that out.
And with that, nobody was on site. They got to check it with the 0 point confirmation. Push out. It is over in garage, but the other 2, having been playing over on A, have to be rotating over. This, though, nobody on site. Soniqs is just going to all play this from C long. Never Cage go up a little bit of the bait, but Soniqs, they know. They're not going to fall for it. They're going to be taking these gunfights, but a pop around, trades coming out, but at this point, already such an advantage for Soniqs. They're not losing any sort of trade war, and they're gonna tie this up going into the swap.
It should be a good second half, just looking at how close this one was. And a reminder that Soniqs, they were able to take the victory against Renegades on the top of 16 for this tournament yesterday, and it was really good. I mean, the defensive side went 10-2 for the side of Soniqs. So
wow,
that is already a statement of how good this side can be for them. But we definitely get to see. It all starts with a pistol round. The pistol round and the 6-6 is just really going to shape the momentum of a map like this one. And I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but this, out of every single other map, is the one where you expect even to buy into second a little bit more than anything else.
But, you know, this buy for Chamber doesn't have to be a gun. It could just be that ability. I feel like that is so broken going into any sort of pistol round. No rush coming out, though. Instead, Pioneers play it a little slower out of the gate. And finally, a little bit of an overpeak from Soniqs. If it can happen, and they can start trying to make some noise over on B, but they don't have to commit to it whatsoever. They're just going to force Soniqs out, force them to rotate a little bit, and they're going to go back to playing this slow.
Slow, and for that information, that is exactly what Pioneers want to do. So that is when you start seeing the difference between how aggressive some teams want to play towards the beginning and even the confidence game. Again, you know the risks of losing the pistol round, knowing that it's a 6-6 right now. So even playing for those last 30 seconds might be the move for the set of Pioneers.
Gonna go back. At that point, Chamber just gonna get out of there. Not gonna blame you either. With almost 30 seconds left in the round, Pioneers will set their sights over on B. Spike will get planted. Outburst to get to safety. free Sonics and no presence on site for Pioneers. They're all going to be playing this from mid and be playing these angles, playing this a little longer. But there is the lineups to account for it. Never count. No, down, and all of a sudden, only one left alive for Sonics. Then it will be Pioneers to take the pistol round yet again.
The reaction, like I said, the lineups can always be so effective, and it seems like it is kind of the only way to play on the attacking side and play for B. If you're not planting for that courtyard area and for that window area, there's nothing else that seems to be as effective. It is right in the middle. There's so many other entrances where the defense can go in, can flank you like we saw early on. So that is a really good way to deny it and to see Pioneers being able to get ahead this time around.
Yeah, and now that they're able to take the round, they can go for their sheriffs, go the bonus. But it's going to be an aggressive little push-up for mid here just to hold this angle. You can tell that somebody's there. You just don't know if they're going to peek you or exactly where they're at. And Pioneers don't seem to be falling for the bait either. They don't want to be playing this too aggressively, but a missed shot will force them back and keep mid safe for the meantime.
Is that information that this attacking team for Pioneers is trying to figure out, and everyone kind of going behind that drone, making sure that it's going to be a safe territory, that they're not going to get taken down too early. And Soniqs, they already get that information, and they have absolutely no hesitation. There's going to be a lot of members into that A long. Everyone rotating. Look at them. It's going to be a 5-stack into that A. And of course, Pioneers don't know this, but the question is, can they rotate? Can they predict that this is something that the defense is trying to do?
Especially at this point, we're getting to about 30 seconds left on the clock. So if they want to rotate, that has to be now. But it looks like they might just play right into this. A-site is going to be an absolute bloodbath. And look at those wells to even push anyone out. They can see this isn't safe. I am going to be going down with the shock dart. And now rotating out, they will have enough time to run. These folks are fast. And they're going to be forcing Soniqs to be chasing after
10
them.
seconds left.
You just gotta make the rotation as soon as possible. It took way too long for these attackers to have the confidence to go in. And now JMO's in a really good position, has already gotten 2 kills. Only 2 members remaining for the side of Soniqs. One of them is going to be having position. The other one is going to be pushing towards Garage. Will be taken down. And with that, JMO, the really good rotation and even flank that we got to see for a little bit made a difference for the team, and it allowed them to even go into C, get that spike planted, and get a little bit of the better economy.
Yeah, honestly, I think it was such a good call too. I wasn't sure if they committed too much, started pushing out onto site and realized, hey, you know, this is kind of not a great time, that they might not have had time to rotate. But it was that first point of contact and they're like, uh-oh, something doesn't seem right, and got out of there. And I think that was just really well done. They were destined to be winning the round anyways, considering the weapons on the board, but you never know with a little bit of an upset going into those sorts of rounds. And you want to be playing it a little bit safe, but a little bit more even footing going into this one. Pioneers playing it aggressive in mid, but Crunchy, Champ's a little bit hiding in this cage, but the Nebula is going to be clouding this line of sight even further, and, you know, it's going to be dangerous. They know somebody's lurking there.
And just having control of Garage can give you so much control of the rest of the map as well. Of course, knowing that it can connect to B, it can connect to C. So not letting go is a really good decision by the side of Soniqs on the defensive side. And even forcing, we did as we see, to take a little bit of damage, and also forcing that everyone is going to be pushing from long. Crunchy getting taken down.
A little bit of karma there for causing so much trouble over in Garage earlier. And as the push comes out, this site is going to fall. The one in the back of sight, not going to be able to do too much for long. That's going to be Thief's 4th kill into the round. And that's going to be Pioneers starting to take a little bit of a lead.
trying to get things rolling for this attacking team of Pioneers. Again, they just won another tournament, so the confidence absolutely there. It was looking very close to that first half, but the 9-6 can make a massive difference, especially when they start to approach those double digits. And I think even their composition is enabling this aggression to be successful. They have a double duelist composition. They're playing with the Reyna, who's top fragging right now. It's doing so much for the team, and on top of that, you have a Jett that is able to play aggressive when they find it necessary, even after waiting a little bit more, as we see them doing again, just for that information game. And the Astra, let's see, is looking forward to push. Does get stopped though.
Speaking of being stopped, Soniqs stopped dead in their tracks, trying to peek out through B, and that is fantastic 2 picks to start things off for Pioneers to just be able to push right out onto this site. Nebula's to force a difficult push out. A little bit of a point through though. Will land Jason 1 kill, but instantly traded out, not too surprised. And yet again,
No.
Ian has another tripwire. They're everywhere. Where can you go from here, bud?
It has been trying to go in the flank, has been trying to go behind them, but the opportunity gets denied. One in Garage, the other one in C Long. And the opportunities with that runaway, of course, the utility is going to make it impossible for that to happen. And on top of that, you're going to have game on this Jett. Using the op drop, using that Phantom as well, and guaranteeing those double digits for the side of Pioneers, who, like you said, have been slowly getting ahead on the second half, have been getting everything rolling the way that they want to, even winning the bonus round that we saw. That was so crucial. That then allowed them, of course, to get those rifles and to win this last round.
Yeah, this is how they started off the game, though, with a, nice little 4 rounds in a row. So I feel like this is going to be a big round to see if Soniqs can bounce back, or if it's going to be Pioneers just snowballing a lead, especially with Soniqs on a buy-up this time around. Pioneers, to start things off, they're going to be pushing and playing a bit more aggressively into Garage. Previously, there was Crunchy being a little bit of a troublemaker over there, but not going to be playing that way this time around. So a push through Garage will come out, but any push out onto site, denied by the 2 members of Soniqs playing in the back. Point is only going to be 1 left now for Pioneers, and Soniqs doing a fantastic job of, not letting Pioneers get too far ahead.
It goes back to the Soba and the utility that can be so helpful here. Using the Hunter's Fury, doesn't know how close Sotek is going to be in this chamber. Immediately takes him down. Critical was just slowly pushing, trying to get a little bit closer before using that gun. But the opportunities get denied, and the changes that we see from Soniqs come up to be beneficial for them. It was very slow towards the beginning of the second half, but now they have a little bit to work with, and that even includes the Cosmic DeFi that we might be seeing very soon.
Yeah, still even footing 2 for both of the teams. I feel like being able to get Garage control like that, normally things can swing your way, but that ended up, I felt, being their downfall this time. And, left side of the map, that one didn't feel so good. So we're going to be playing outside of A this time around. JMO hiding on the other side of the gravitational well, does get a shot, but unable to quite connect that. But look at this. There's 2 pushed up.
Yeah, and they're not going to push yet with the chop wire being there, so they're going to wait for a potential push to see. The attacking side, though, going the other way. Looking forward to push from mid or Garage, potentially. So the opportunity for the flank and to get those kills seems to be denied. And even taking down the trap wire would have given some information. So that is not even going to be possible anymore. The Astra, though, on the side of Pioneer, is a little hesitant. It seems like JC Sandy knows what's going on.
Just going to be backing up through C at this point. That could have been devastating if Pioneer started to fully push towards C, but instead, B's the place to be. A little bit of a spray through the Nebula, though, is not going to fare too well. JC's Annie. And now with 30 seconds left in the round and Spike lost, 30 seconds left. For Pioneers to be pushing out onto site. A difficult one, though, but trades coming out in Sonic's favor. And now it's only JMO op in hand. A Jett with an op can do some dangerous things, some wonderful things, but it's not going to this time around. And Soniqs will land themselves a little closer to tying this up.
And the more that I see Chamber being played, the more I start seeing how fast. I mean, you can have an immediate rendezvous when if you don't connect the kill, right? And it can be so beneficial, almost playing like we see Jet often with the tailwind, just running away after getting a kill with the operator, which I think is super interesting and so much beneficial on the side of the defense when you're trying to hold an angle. You catch anyone, you either get the kill or you're gonna use that TP, the rendezvous, to immediately go away to a safe positioning. Like Jima, who already gets taken down by the operator.
Manages to get a kill, gets out to life. Positive round so far for Soniqs. And in Aldrin, wait, I don't think it spotted him. It's not gonna push that anyways, but I think you were safe that time around. Regardless, it's going to be a push out onto A for Pioneers at the Cosmic Divide to make it even more difficult for any sort of push through, but Soniqs does have their available as well if they want to start contesting this.
It can get really hard with 2 Cosmic Divides being used. So I want to see how it can play out. This is the perfect Cosmic Divide, as we see for the post-plant scenario. The defense don't have the numbers advantage. They lost one of the members in the second one very early on. And yeah, like I said, the Cosmic Divide will be coming right after the other one is done.
It's a fantastic angle for it to close down, but it's not going to be doing too much when, you know, everybody's playing on site. So a push through is going to be Soniqs' downfall. And Pioneers now 1 away from match point, but wow, double Cosmic Divides in a round. I always love to see that, Dan.
It's just the timing that can work out so well from one after the other. This time around is only going to be working out for the set of Pioneers in that post-plant scenario into that A side. That worked out perfectly. They are getting the opening picks, and with that, they have all the rest of utility to work into what comes next every single time. You see, once again, those abilities or that information getting denied. Looking forward to get an opening pick for this attacking team into a window, but it's getting a little harder than they thought.
Just holding that close angle, not wanting to quite peek the op on the other side, but it's a little bit of just being spread out for Pioneers. Starting to push up through A long, though. Deck just hiding behind this box. Just a little bit of a stare down, not just there, but all over this map. Pioneers playing it real slow. Ooh. Fantastic ult. Just to get that little bit of information, somebody out in the corner, but it's only going to be good for a trade. And back on even footing, the team starts trying to figure out where they can find any sort of footing, and a missed shot means the footing might not be found in Garage.
Yeah, it seems like the timing is not going to be right. The Cypher for this attacking team is going to take a little bit of damage, is going to back up immediately, and the plan is going to ideally come through into that B side as everyone is trying to push together. They already lost 1 member. It's a 4v4, still very much doable. Facing, looking forward to push past this Nebula.
It's so doable, especially, you know, if somebody's flanking through the mid. Somebody has the courage to just push through the Nebulas, and, you know, it looked like for a second Pioneers might have had control of the site, but instantly lost at that point. And Soniqs will keep them away from match point for now.
Waiting and striking for this defensive team seems to be working out perfectly, but it's been still back and forth. So when they're waiting on when they have at least the same numbers advantage, when they don't lose 2 members early on, that is when it seems like they're shining the most, right? But it's a tough decision, right? You either play for that information early on with a couple of those drones and even pushing in, watching with the operator, like we see them doing right now, or you're gonna play and hold those corners as much as possible. A little bit of teasing there, but Crunchy will not be able to connect that kill with the operator. Still looking really close. I want to see again the speed of this push into A again.
Doesn't look like there's much speed. They're slow walking. They're not gonna quite give away the information yet until they're further established. But Trademark will catch out that there is one in A short, and that might just be the information needed. And off of that, Pioneers gonna be making that mad dash out onto site. Over in short, though, Deck finally going down. This point is gonna be even. Utility, the shock dart, do some damage on the plant. but it's not going to be denying it as another Cosmic Divide. I feel like we just have these Cosmic Divide will come down. The Hunter's Fury is definitely a way to start trying to deny any sort of push out. And sure enough, they'll at least put a bit of pressure on.
Look at those assists. Crunchy was able to connect that kill, but everyone else was making a part of it. And with the last kills coming through for the side of Sonic, all about that communication. And like he said, yes, we've seen a lot of those Cosmic Divides, and that puts into perspective the job that these two Astros have been doing and making this first map as close as it is right now. It's 11-10 Sonics. Again, they were looking a little bit hesitant in the beginning of the second half, but now they are looking so much better. 2 rounds in a row, and looking forward to get the third one as well, as the side of Pioneers doesn't really have the best economy. They're going to be forcing here and even trying to use, like we see, it seems like potentially one of those Spectres.
You know, one Spectre, and this is exactly what they did first half. Sonics, they took their 4-round losses, shook it off, you know, we're not gonna let that happen anymore, and started to bounce back. And going into a swap, you never quite know if it's just letting the other team get some rounds or if it's just a weaker half, a weaker, you know, side for Sonics. But being able to bounce back into this, a lost round here, I feel like it's going to be absolutely devastating for Pioneers, especially with the economy. That's hard to bounce back from when you're at the end of the game.
Absolutely. I mean, we have double digits for both of the teams, and things can get really, really difficult when you are forcing into a round like this one, where, again, if you lose, you might not be able to come back into it. It's already match point. The enemy already has 12, and there's nothing else to really work with. So Sonics is in a really good position. I think Crunchy has been getting some really good opening picks, but it's kind of Crunchy either gets the opening pick or doesn't get anything at all in that round. So it's kind of very back and forth. Definitely looking at the right place now.
Definitely in a good position to try and get one, but the Lear is going to completely shut that down. And Pioneers, recognizing the importance of this round with 2 huge picks out of the gate, completely denying any push-up from Sonics through Garage or through mid. And that's so impactful. And now they've gotten that map control, and they're just going to go back to their favorite place A.
Every single time, it seems like we always see that A push,
Right.
and it's working out, right? So it makes sense for them to try it out. Still looking really close. The defense slowly realizing, and there's going to be actually someone coming in the flank. That Astra trying to get something going here. Really close to the Cypher. Also watching that corner.
It's always been the tripwires, been catching people off guard, but Weeded's just going to take the fight at face value there and take Ian down. And Sonics, only 2 left to try, and not even. Only 1 to try and push back and retake against a full team of 5 at this point. And not even going to try at this point. Just play your life. Keep a gun and try and take someone else out.
You want to keep your gun, but it seems like he's playing a little too close for comfort. Where there's at least one member that's going to push. Is good for 1. But as the time runs out,
Good for 3?
Actually works out. Yeah, actually, those work out. Wait, never mind. Wait a minute. That was a roller coaster. What?
The fact that pushing up for that angle to get that 3rd kill, almost dying to the spike zone just to have critical push up through mid come out at the last second. It was a nice run, but with that, Sonic's run starting to look a little here at this point as Pioneers find themselves on match point. It was a little dicey for a little bit, but a lead, it did them well. And now there's 1 more to take map 1 in the playoffs.
For the set of Sonics, I mean, you're just looking forward to use the Hunter's Fury, either to deny the plan or to get some information early on. But you already know there's going to be a couple of members in mid. Looking forward to push. The drone is going to even guarantee a little bit more of the confidence over exactly where the enemy team is going to be. The attacking team, again, looking to make a change, looking to not longer push for that garage, but is it going to be A again?
I mean, when is it not? It's been once
It's
that
not
we've
A.
seen it on C, a couple of times on B, but when A has been working out so effectively, how could you justify anything but pushing out onto site already. Soniqs forced to be backing up. The Tex look to try and get cheeky just for half a second, but being forced to be backing up with that rendezvous. A double updraft, but at that point, them being able to just hide right around the corner. And now to try and keep themselves alive in this round, Bob is going to be bringing out that Hunter's Fury. It's only going to be good for a little bit of damage and delaying the plant, allowing Soniqs to start trying to group up for this retake.
And one of those chances, one of those opportunities for the side of Soniqs to try to make a comeback here is going to be the Empress coming up as well. It's going to be online. Oh, but the kills for Soniqs are actually working out.
That push, it was so coordinated, and all of a sudden, it's only critical to try and keep this alive. And a Sova with lineups can be so dangerous, but the Nold command to just deny that is going to make it so Soniqs can come out on top and not let Pioneers take this so easily. And now Soniqs just one away from bringing this into overtime.
Absolutely. Even the Sova with the lineups playing for long can be so difficult when you don't have the timing, right? When you lose the rest of your team so early on, that is exactly what we saw. So Soniqs able to get another one, and like I said, the potential overtime is going to be there depending on what Soniqs is able to do, and they have everything. I mean, they have all the economy, all the guns they could need, all those heavy shields as well. While Pioneers, they are struggling to even buy anything here.
Yeah, this is a big one, and you know, we kept saying A's been working out, but after that one, it looks like it might just be an aggressive push out onto C. JMO did have the Blade Storm at disposal, but that was, I think, 4 knives lost and life to follow up with. But we'd have been able to pick up a kill. We'll get to use that neural dev, get that information, and Thief popping around the corner, taking those kills, taking Soniqs out before they can even get to site. And now it's only 1 against the world. It is going to be that tour de force, but there's still 3 people to take down, and you only got 3 bullets of that left. Gonna pull out different gun, get that headhunter. At this point, Pioneers don't have to entertain this. They don't even have to push this. It's all down to Soniqs to even just push down into this. It's slow, it's sure, but we did to take him down. And Pioneers finding themselves the win on map 1 of this best of 3.
Bringing like triple duelist. Like it was absolutely insane, but you love to see it. And that is why I think, yeah, like you said, the Sage can be very beneficial to even surprise the enemy in a couple angles, especially when you were looking at B. Having that wall to try to get a pick early on and then pushing to the side can be so beneficial for teams. But again, it is the same of old composition versus new, and trying to see who is able to win it here, and setting up the Reyna for the overheal and post can also be a really good way to start it off.
Love that wall to kind of shut things down, but maybe not quite having the impact it needed going on over here, because any push down into tree denied by Soniqs, but push through being a little more beneficial, but a push through mid is going to be very beneficial for we did to pop around and catch someone by surprise. And going into this pistol round now, it's going to be a 1v2, but it is the headhunter. That could be a big difference maker in pistol rounds.
Can be massive here, but in a positioning where his attacking team for the post is predicting, especially when I'm looking at the turret, you can predict where the enemy is going to be coming from. You can catch him before and getting that better positioning to get the kill right away. The turret is going to actually go down, as holding those corners are going to be enough for Weeded able to connect that kill right away and winning the first one for Pioneers.
Yeah, at that point, the last 2 members, Soniqs just like hiding. No, sorry, the last 2 ones, you know, just hiding around the box, not able to peek Soniqs whatsoever. And Pioneers being able to hold down the angle was so nice. And now I think that's every pistol round that they've won in this series.
Winning those pistol rounds again can be also so good for any team. I think there's like over 70% chances that if you win the 2 pistol rounds of a match, you have the opportunity to win the entire game. So that is absolutely insane for anyone to be able to get. And I love seeing it play out. The Surge going to detect that someone was pushing a little too aggressive, has to back out. But the Soba for Soniqs, it's like quite a lot of damage Bob has to I mean, there's not even healing available, so just backing up and playing a little bit more for that information.
Yeah, that's definitely, you know, one of the downfalls of not having a Sage is that damage is going to be sticking around. And against these weapons, that's going to be adding up huge. But going into this Pioneers, just kind of playing it a little slow, just kind of waiting for somebody to be pushing up. And it looks like they're going to just go the long way around and maybe sight their sets on B. There's only one there. It's going to be Zotex. Gets out with his life, but that was a lot of damage.
Yeah, 16 HP, that's not a lot to work with, but it can work out almost perfectly for this attacking side. They have the numbers, especially into the side. Zotek does get taken down. There was nothing else they could have done, and that is when we see the barrier coming in. This better positioning puts everyone in an uncomfortable situation. Thief as well, able to get two, pushing us to a 3-2-2.
So managing to get 2 people down, not gonna be too shabby, but a shock dart going to be Iron's downfall into that. And Pioneers will take their second round into this. And a nice little early start to the second map.
Good way to start it off for anyone, really, but this time around is going to be for the set of Pioneers, as they're even going to be forcing a couple of guns in. They are committed for the long range more than anything, and being able to connect those kills as soon as possible. Going almost broke for both of the teams with that economy, and even knowing that Pioneers is going to be forcing a little bit more, but it should be still pretty good for even playing into this mid positioning that a lot of teams like to get information from.
Ooh, this looks like it might not go so well, though. A push up through Cat. These teams starting to get a little bit aggressive, and Pioneers looking to take all of that mid control through the Nebula, though. Crunchy gonna find one nonetheless, and the strive coming out is gonna take JC Stanny as well. And Soniqs being able to come back in a fantastic fashion there, only losing one member to be taking this round.
Jason with a 3K, guaranteeing that first round, going for the set of Soniqs, and the communication that we saw from them to make the rotation into A side happening, and especially into tree, seemed to work out perfectly. We saw the barrier denying that mid control, even towards almost the end, but nothing else can be done. The positioning, the numbers advantage already into that A side for the defense, and with that, Jason able to even build his ultimate. So looking forward to that one as well. We know how detrimental not being able to use your utility can be.
Yeah, KO knife down. He's gonna try and squat out a little bit of information. Another benefit, not just suppressing, but being able to kind of get an eye up where people can be. And then Crunchy gonna be backing it up. There's 2 members of Pioneers there. Just gonna be playing outside this B this time around. 2 on site. Rendezvous to bring him back. And mid, not going so well for Pioneers to start things off. Crunchy with a fantastic kill, and at this point, Pioneers might be forced to back up and regroup a little bit. Oh, that's a nice kill from Thief.
Yeah, that almost looked risky for Thief. Missed a couple shots, but able to make it work towards the end. And also taking on the Jet for the enemy team is also going to be good. Being able to get a gun for himself is Steamy. Looking forward to pushing to the side of tree. This attacking team slowly getting information, getting really close to that Sova.
Little bit of information, a little bit of momentum, and a little bit of map control, as it's going to be a push up through mid. They know that someone's nearby. They know that there could be somebody on the other end, but regardless, Dex taking down. They at least get control of that area, which means can pop around and take Bob out, as Bob was holding down the main. And now it's all of a sudden only a 1v3 situation. Not much time in the round, but the spike will go down. A nice push through market, though. I am taking this into a 2v1, and the last 2 are going to be hiding the back of sight at Boathouse. If he can start trying to peek those 1x1, it could have been there, but unfortunately, JMO is going to be the one to find it instead.
Everyone trying to take those duels 1x1, but it can become so difficult, especially for what we saw there, where there was one market and there was the stage into B main with the wall that we talked about early on, and getting that better angle, getting that kill where you don't even know if you want to look one way or the other. And the kill is going to be there to connect it. So he's going to be Pioneers getting away with that round as well and saving a couple ultimates. Definitely looking forward for the Blade Storm now.
Standing ahead.
Ooh, definitely. Looking for this round to, you know, start putting their sights over on A. Start playing a little aggressively. There is 2 site. It looks like they could do a coordinated push out as the lockdown comes down, force V1 out. Look at that though. Just hiding strong on the back of site as the lockdown timer starts expiring and is going to be detained. Just 1, though it's going to be over interviewed. So safe for the moment being. That was all that was needed for Pioneers to start pushing out onto this site and take this plant position.
When we did see the opt-out as well trying to catch anyone, almost playing for that long, but the Cosmic Divide is also going to come in. Is one of those rounds where all the ultimates can be benefited early on, including that Empress that we saw for the side of Pioneers. Trying to create a little bit of fear for the enemy team, but it's a 4v4. Anyone can win it.
Anyone can. A push through. The null command came out, but taken down. All of a sudden, it's gonna be a 1v2 situation in a 1v1, and no utility can be used. Last member, Pioneers, and that just being said, Bob able to pop around, right-click this, and should have enough time to defuse, put another on the board for Soniqs.
So this map also already looking like it's going to be a close one, and that is also based on what we saw in Haven, where again we couldn't have been closer. So for Soniqs, it's all about getting that momentum early on, like we talked about. It can make such a difference, even hitting that classic kill towards the end. The defuse happening, guaranteeing that Soniqs is still able to stay online, able to stay in the game. We haven't really seen a lot of action going on B side, besides the time that, because it just gets denied immediately by the defense, right? So I want to see the change now, because there's a couple members looking towards the push in that B main.
I feel like B's just dangerous to push as well when there's a Sova around, but that's not the way that Soniqs wants to be playing this. Bob going to be taking a little bit of a longer angle there. Going to be shut down, though, with the Nebula. Nanoswarm not going to be thrown quite far enough, though, to put Bob in any danger, at least for that moment. As there's going to be, you know, a little bit of backup through B main. Imo trying to get aggressive with the wall. Nobody's going to be peeking that, though. And as JC Stanley tries to make any momentum, any push up, it's going to also be denied.
A lot of damage that the Jet for Soniqs took early into the rounds, and now it puts his duelist into a risky situation. Again, the only duelist for this team compared to what Set of Pioneers had. The kills are once again going to go with Bob. Just get taken down, gets denied that opportunity to get anything for himself.
Ooh, Judge around the corner can be lethal. I am not going to be able to quite get that today. And as the grades come out, it's going to be a 2v2 each side. But it looks like Pioneers looking to start pushing towards A. A little bit of a spray, though. Didn't connect. And Crunchy able to try and pop around and, you know, try and surprise them. Has to pass the turret, but it's going to be enough to at least have a bit of a life going into this retake. But not for long. Weedon's going to be finishing off, you know, what he started, and it's going to be Sotex now in a 2v1. Hunter's Fury also in Pioneer's back pocket. It's going to be a difficult retake here, Dan.
And the difficult turns into impossible as the attackers win another round. The Pioneers being able to get away with a 4-2 right now and getting more and more rounds. This is what happened on the last map. Towards the beginning, then Soniqs was able to make it even, but I don't think it's going to be this round. It's going to be a save one going on for them. Those sheriffs are going to be bought. Maybe a little bit of the light shield trying to get something going. Trying to steal a couple guns from the enemy. Not really expecting to win the round unless there's some very, very good early picks happening.
You never know. There could be a Marshall on Ascent. Could be a lethal one, especially in the hands of Crunchy. Does catch one out over in the top of mid, but at this point, Pioneers will get out with their life just for that moment, and now know that there is that pressure. There's also, look at this, gonna be the Tour de Force, something else that Pioneers have to try and get by.
And it could get things difficult, but actually this Chamber's not gonna get anything done. In Pioneers, they get the opening, they get 3 kills and push Soniqs into a 2v5 where it is very, very difficult when you don't even have a gun to work with. Only the Sheriff is going to be available. Saving doesn't even seem like an opportunity, not even able to steal any guns from the enemy. The Chaos trying to get something going here. One would be enough.
One enemy remaining.
Looks like one's not gonna happen either, though. Jaesung taken down, and now it's a Sova v Sova. Bob tries to go for a pick, but stepping out a little too far. JC Stanley gonna be taking that down to secure another round for Pioneers. But wow, that horde of force, that could be absolutely insane. But the big miss shots over in mid, that one's gotta hurt. It was a save, but maybe feeling a little bit of a sting from that. Soniqs are gonna call a timeout.
Could be a timeout to figure out what you can do next. And more than anything, I think to stop the momentum from Pioneers, that confidence can start building and building round after round. So even a little timeout can do a lot for the set of Soniqs. It seems like it is clear this one's going to be a buy round for them. But the main thing for me is going to be figuring out that positioning. Because for me, Soniqs has to shine on this first half more than anything, compared to Pioneers, where Pioneers on the defense, they're going to have a Killjoy to work with. They're going to have a Sage to work with. And that already denies so much space from the enemy. So Pioneers, if they're able to shine on this attacking round, they already have everything for the second half.
Yeah, it's definitely a tricky situation to be with. And being able to try and hold a site down defensively when you have something like a tour de force and stuff like that to be holding those angles could go well, but it's not quite being brought to fruition here for Sonic. So it'll be interesting to see teams being able to go for a timeout, kind of rediscuss things and, change up the strategy a little bit. It'll be interesting to see what differences are going to be made. And I feel like this one right out of the gate is going to be one. It's going to be an opt-down mid. Otex, to see if an early pick can be made in favor of Pioneers.
Enemy mark.
Everyone playing all the way back into B side. No one wants to play too close. That mid control is going to be crucial, and Soniqs already showing some results after the timeout. Already getting 1 kill, but the rest, of course, is going to be there, turning us back to a 5v5.
Yeah, now that the mid has been lost, Pioneers can start pushing up that way, get control of market, and try and pinch B. Aiden's already snuck by, though. Already on sidewalk is going to take Bob out, and that is going to be putting the opening pick in terms of Pioneers. And just right off of that, any push through, Pioneers not slowing down whatsoever. All of a sudden, it's only Ian, the lone A player, in an impossible situation.
It's really hard. Not even those abilities are going to be enough to be able to connect the kills, even in that long rotation to try to get a couple of picks and to, more than anything, be able to keep your gun. That sometimes seems very, very hard to make happen.
Definitely. But, any pick that could be gained at this point now is just going to be a positive in a lost round. So that was definitely a nice one. But look at this mini-map. Pioneers chasing Ian down, and Thief already making the long haul over to A is going to be taking the 3rd kill of the round and put Pioneers in more of a lead. Not only do they have a lead, but look at the top of the board with every ult that they have at their disposal.
And I've also been so happy seeing Thief's performance on this arena. A lot of teams almost shy away from this arena in pretty much every single map or icebox, it seems like. But Thief being able to shine in the kills, being able to shine and use those abilities just in time. I feel like we've seen so many highlights over and over again from this arena, using the Lear, denying that vision from the enemy. And of course, getting the kills that guarantee the round very early on, like we saw there, or very late in the round. It might be happening again. As Pioneers, once again, looking forward to taking the lead. Please guarantee a 7-5 for the second half.
Only trying. Just as Thief's trying to be finding anyone in mid. There is one hiding in the nebula. It's long gone now, as everyone is spamming that down. There's one at the top of mid. As Pioneers look to just push up and gain this control. Trying to play on the other end of B main. Trying not to get caught spot out in the corner. Maybe trying to make something happen with this sheriff, knowing that there's at least a killjoy on the other side. Whoa. Crunchy with a fantastic hit. That was, I think Critical had an op in hand. Crunchy popping up. Headshot wallbang to take Weak down. Sheriff's coming out on top. Jason not wanting to be left out of the fun is going to be following up. And JC Stanny, despite all odds, is in a 4v1 situation.
And it's going to be the rotation going on, trying to plant the spike as soon as possible. The door is going to be closed, the location is going to be revealed, and the enemy Astra is going to try to connect the kill, not be actually making it happen. So the spike seems like will be planted just in time.
Just in time, though it looked a little dicey, but Zotex is going to have even more time on his side to take that kill. What a thrifty round coming out from Soniqs there. Those are some clean shots to get it done.
It's a couple of those that can give your team a completely different mentality. And this position where we are is a 63. You need a little bit more. And it's looking, again, very, very similar to what we saw in that first map, Haven, where Pioneers was able to get ahead. The pistol run was going their way. They were winning a couple rounds. And then they started slowly losing the momentum, making it even. And then in the second half, being able to gain it back. So Pioneers, ideally, you want to shut down whatever Soniqs is trying to bring on this defensive side. Even getting an operator, like we've seen for a couple rounds, that would be so good for that main control. Trying to get it, we didn't see that.
Hunter's Fury, get that little bit of information. JC Stanny being able to capitalize, but only one kill. Gonna be falling down from that Hunter's Fury right after, but hands out, utility. Not gonna go well for Bob, as popping around will go down. And that trade coming out and the resurrection, nonetheless, is gonna be putting this to a 4v4, a lockdown to try and secure this midsection that's been very highly contested. But that's a nice shot to start getting things in the lead here for Soniqs.
Soniqs is gonna play for the post plan. Everyone waiting to be together before pushing in and also catching. Jamo, I was gonna say Jamo in a bad positioning here, but Crunchy's the one who suffers at a kill, and the numbers advantage could be even. Yes, I make it even. It's a 2v2 again, and now the post is looking more and more difficult for Soniqs to make happen.
Especially with that wall that's right behind in market, Jamo can just freely peek this angle and know that there's not gonna be a flank there. Rotational well will at least give way for a push out onto site for the last two members. But injured though, and time running out. One shock dart from Critical is all it takes to be ending Soniqs' hope in securing this round.
Beautiful shock dart connecting there, knowing that there wasn't even any time remaining for the defuse to connect the way the Soniqs wanted to. And finally, we see on that first half, the Pioneers will be taking the lead. It cost them a little bit, took them a little bit of time, but they were able to get that going, which is absolutely crucial for them. Like I talked about before, Pioneers really seem to be that team that once they go on the defense, they might be unstoppable. Having a killjoy, having a lockdown, and having such aggressive players like we see Thief doing every single time, it's just enabling this team for success more and more.
Oh, with everyone pushing that B main, that's the moment you would love to have an Odin in hand if you were a Sova. Being forced to back up though, especially as Jamo goes for the power peak wall to try and get this angle. I was able to get away though, and nobody is going to dare peek this over in market. But a little bit of a stalemate is no ground gonna quite be made, and there's a spike to be rotating out though. There's going to be a couple lurkers just in case.
Going to be a couple at least to make it happen, and getting the spike to A side. We've seen a lot of B action. We started mentioning that they never go B, and then they started going B more often. And there's something that I do like to see. I really like the B push for this attacking team. It can be effective. There's not a lot of denial for it. They get that opening pick more than anything. And talking about opening picks here, that is exactly what Bob is trying to do, making sure that no one's in that nebula, or at least doesn't spot anyone, and everyone backing up. Seems like they thought about going into that A for a second, but we're back at B, and there's 30 seconds remaining.
Just playing around with Soniqs' mind there, but look at this angle. Bob just on the other side of the wall. I don't know if he'll be able to push through it safely, and he will not. We did it on the other side with the better angle at that point, as there's only 10 seconds left, but the plant will go down. And got a double Cosmic Divide coming out for any attempt for Soniqs to try and get back into it. But already, as strong as a Cosmic Divide can be, it's not going to be strong enough when a whole team is trying to chase you down.
And a Cosmic Divide, the first one that we saw, it seems like it worked out perfectly. Having someone hidden in the corner, even pushing in, seemed to be impossible for the defense. Giving another round now for the set of Pioneers, who are really getting ahead. They're getting the momentum of it more and more. And it is so interesting the way they're evolving. They're making changes. They are not becoming predictable. It seems like on the last map for Pioneers, they really became predictable, always going into the A side. But now, changing things around, sometimes going A, sometimes going B at different speeds as well. A little bit more of the questions the defense is trying to answer.
For sure. But the question that defense has to answer this time around is how to deal with this push out onto site. But I guess it's going to be a bunch of utility that Pioneers will have to push through. As much of a slaughter it is, though, there will only be one left for Pioneers. Pushing back out. Doesn't quite have Spike, but there wasn't enough time for Soniqs to be rotating over. And it's going to be a 2v1, but they have the utility, they have the information, or yeah, I was gonna say a lack of, but it's gonna catch him out at last moment. Oh,
not a lot that you can do there. 34 HP to work with, and 2 members who take down will be denied. Even Soniqs another round, and even the last round that they needed. This is not the worst scenario again for Soniqs, but it's all about the way that they're able to play on this attacking side. And that means that this chamber that we haven't really seen being highlighted often has to absolutely pop off along with the jet. Almost playing like a duelist, being the opener, having the better guns to work with, just as it is this agent's kit that is enabling those kills to happen early on. And it can play a lot, like we talked about with the jet, with the rendezvous, being able to run away and stay alive, or even with the Reyna early on, that it's able to stay a little bit alive. But this time around is going to be chamber, but for different reasons as well. Just having one up to work with. Soniqs tries to make a comeback, and it's going to start off with a pistol round here.
It's definitely an important pistol round to start being able to get these rounds under their belts. Because as you said, Pioneers have a fantastic composition for playing more on the defensive. And not only that, even going into this round, there's all that Astra utility. And there's also going to be 3 bodies on site already. Just waiting for a little bit of a push out. And it's going to be Gravitational Well being popped right before the suppression comes out. And already with that, it's going to be tripping up Soniqs just enough. Already 3, 4, 5 going down. Flawless round for Pioneers in the pistol. And they haven't lost a pistol round now yet.
2 in a row on this map, and 2 in a row on our first map that we saw in that Haven. That is a good way to start things out, to guarantee the double digits to go for them in this transition round that we're going to be seeing next. Obviously, having the better economy, having those specters to buy, and having a little bit of that utility that can be so beneficial. And like you said, that was a flawless, which it seems like it's so unlikely to happen on a pistol round, and guaranteeing that Pioneers, they're not playing around.
Definitely not. They're hungry to be taking this win and be moving forward on and just show everyone what they're about, especially with all these new signings. But I mean, there's still some more Valorant to be played in this point. We've seen how Soniqs has been able to be pushing themselves back into matches. So it is a lead, but you can never count them out. JMO will be good for 1 before being taken out. But at this point, that wall, that's a nice wall. They got to be pushing every part of this to start trying to get into tree room. And that's going to give Pioneers enough of a time to rotate and starting to even get a flank.
There's a laser potential, but everyone in this attacking side playing for that mid in different parts. And I think that Nebula was such a crucial part of the stage. Could have gotten 1 or 2 kills, but it got denied that information, especially in that corner. It seems like it was just in time. It worked out perfectly for the side of Sonics being able to take one, but we're still in a 4v4 where the Spike is looking
30
towards
seconds left.
pushing into that A side.
That Spike, the two members are definitely pushed very far up there, trying to see if anybody will rotate through the mid. Trades will be had. We're going to be keeping this even at a 3v3, but time is starting to run out. Less than 10 seconds left, and the power angle on this flank up in heaven not going to be coming out on top. Only 2 left for Soniqs. A leer through, but the spike will at least get planted before Ian's taken out. Only 1 alive. Already taken down. No knife for you today, Thief. But it will at least be around for you.
The team A's, of course, are going to come through, guaranteeing the double digits for Pioneers, while Sonics are getting more and more behind, and the opportunities for the comeback get harder and harder for this team, just because it can be so based on the economy, right? You can win 1 round, but that is not going to guarantee everything that you could need, and you see there, they haven't even won those rounds to guarantee the comeback. I feel like it really plays into what I mentioned early on about Pioneers and how good you can play around your Killjoy is to deny so much space from the enemy. And even the Astra, like we saw there, the Nebula, connecting in a way that guarantee the opening pick and deny the space for the defense of Sonics or for the attacking side of Sonics.
As well, just the leers to just secure being able to pop around a corner safely with the team. It's just been so good and just really just speaks to this composition that Pioneers has. So far, it's already looking like, you know, old versus new. Old not quite having the tricks to stand up quite as necessary going into this best of 3. But in this game, a push up through mid, gonna be faring well for Crunchy, as Critical is not gonna be safe on site, gonna be taken down. Still 2 to get through before site control can be had. And popping around the corner, JMO, the back turn's gonna be taken out, and Sonics will get that advantage.
But for how long, though? That is a question, because Sonics have been having the advantage and they get taken down. It seems like they can keep it at least for a little bit longer. That information is also going to be the 9 and pushing us to a 4v2 scenario, catching exactly where Thea was going to be running around and hearing that noise. That is when Crunchy is able to shine a little bit more, taking a little bit of damage. It shouldn't be affecting the set of Sonics too much, though, but only 1 member remaining, and we did as a mission here.
There's Weeded, and there's 3 on the other team. You already know one's not too good. Just 3 shots, 3 headshots to take this down. And there's actually only 1 on site, but it's 1 that needs to be there. Odex popping around to put any hopes of Weeded clutching that round to rest. And finally, after what seems like a hot second, another point on the board for Sonics.
Need a drop.
I think it's so interesting as well to, like you mentioned, to everyone was playing in different positionings of the map. We saw Crunchy was making a long rotation towards a long, but it wasn't even necessary, right? And you don't even have to always play together as a team for the post. It kind of depends on the scenario, but when you know you have the numbers advantage, it's a 3v1, and only a little bit more is going to be needed. And Sonics, again, the start where they lost a lot here. Good opening into this next round. But trying to get some mid-control. Actually, Crunchy connecting a really good pick here.
Fantastic momentum for Sonics to start this off. Critical being able to try and get a trade coming out, but Sonics, fantastic job of taking control of this mid, and now they've got this control of the map. Only 2 left for Pioneers to try make something happen, but it is Thief over in Tree to be able to pop around and take Jason out of this. And Thief is a scary one to go up against in any scenario.
Has been such a good player. Thief has been a massive highlight for the set of Pioneers on this arena. It's the only agent that we've seen, but it's almost the only agent I want to see from this player. Just looking at the performance, just looking at those leers, they're the opener for the team in a lot of scenarios, but it doesn't mean it's going to go as flawless as they want to. Critical does get taken down, and that means it's all up to Thief to make a clutch happen.
Gonna be pushing up through sidewalk. Can't even be sneaky about it as the owl drone comes out. Doesn't need to be sneaky though. Just being there is enough to pop around the corner and put this into a 2v1. A lot better of a situation, a clutch situation. Just trying to take these fights one by one, trying to pop around the corner. Still one Lear. Back off. Get to take it, but hidden in the nebula. Bob will put Thief down, and Soniqs again. Another point on the board. And is this the little bit of momentum they need to start making a comeback?
It might be, right? It's a good start, but I think it's mostly happening because Pioneers, they're making a lot of mistakes in the early round. They're peeking corners where they shouldn't be peeking. Again, you are the defense. You have someone like an Astra and a Killjoy to deny a lot of information that the attacking team is trying to get. And so it seems like we saw a little mistake, especially in the mid part, even in the market scenario for the setup Pioneers, that I don't think they're going to do again. Yeah, they're going to go for a 3-2, one of them in a different site.
Ooh, an aggressive dash. The wall is going to slow everybody but one down, and they're going to be pushing through. Just destroy the wall, take control of this site already. Pioneers only with 2 to be pushing out. Both up in heaven. Owl drones passing through the night. A little bit of information. And Ares, though, that's going to be a fantastic way to at least take somebody out. Down in hell, but it's not going to be a great weapon to be trying to peek that corner with. But, I mean, Vita could do that for you. A fantastic little pop around, but 1 is all he gets. And it's going to be critical 2v1 situation to try and clutch it up. And it's not going to be enough. Soniqs now 3 in a row.
3 in a row, having the economy and having everything to work with for the next one to make it into an 8-10. For the setup Pioneers, I think they did fix that mistake for mid that I mentioned early on, where there was a bunch of them peeking mid and getting taken down by Crunchy. So they were able to fix that, and they were playing 3 members in A, 2 members at B, where you know A is going to be the harder one to retake. So you want to have a little bit more of those members there, but it was the Blaze Sword coming in. It was all the aggression that denied the opportunity to continue holding that point. Now, a good start to Pioneers, fixing those mistakes, and even with a Sheriff.
Wow, right to start things off. The 2 Sheriff kills, bam, bam, back to back. Be putting Pioneers in the driving seat going into this. And it's not going to stop there. Critical! With 2 with the Hunter's Fury, and it's only going to be 1 now for Soniqs. And this was a save for Pioneers. I am now strapped in mid, taken down, and what an insane round coming out from Pioneers.
It was a thrifty and it was a flawless. That puts into perspective the skill and the decision making for Pioneers to make sure that you're getting the opening pick, you have everything to work with after. Where, like you mentioned, I think a crucial part of it was a Hunter's Fury. I think it helped so much of what Pioneers wanting to do in that round, guaranteeing a pick, guaranteeing that the KO, even with the ultimate, got taken down. The quote-unquote res that he was able to get was not even possible. And with that, it seems like it's going to be a timeout. Well, to figure out the opportunities left, because for the set of Soniqs, there's not many.
There really isn't, especially after that. That has to be a blow. They were on a little bit of a hot streak. 3 rounds back to back. You get to reset the economy from Pioneers, make it a difficult one for them to come back into it. And it didn't slow them down at all. The Sheriffs come out, the Hunter's Fury, to get that momentum back, put them 1 away from match point. And at that point, they really have to sit and reevaluate what needs to change for them to try and keep themselves alive in this best of 3. But what can they change at this point, do you think?
I mean, it's really hard because Pioneers to win around like that one, it just gives so much confidence to this team on the defense. And I don't think we even seen that many highlights from them just yet on the second half. I feel like it's been going back and forth, and they've been struggling a little bit more after we saw Soniqs able to shine more. So for this set of Soniqs, those early picks into mid have done everything. Now, the information and those potential picks might be denied with the nebula that we see from the Astra.
And Thief just playing a little further up as the rest of Soniqs. They look like they're going to be peeking through mid, but they're going to be bowing out quietly and respectfully. Looking outside of B, there is a wall in the way. but it is close to breaking. So they can wait till it breaks and they can go out, and the Cosmic Divide is gonna make it even easier. JMO over on Sidewalk, taken out, and that is going to give way for Soniqs to storm the site now and take it down. I mean, Pioneers, they do still have 4 to push out. They have the Owl Drone for a little bit of information, but that's a dangerous push through.
Very dangerous. Was just waiting for the Cosmic Divide to go down, and Soniqs shining a little bit more. I think even for the first time, the Sword of Force is able to do exactly what Soniqs needed to. Even if he gets taken down, Crunchy's there to clean it up. And Pioneers, they lose that round, pushing Soniqs into another one. Is an 8-11, where the comeback that seemed impossible into that 10-4, I believe, that we saw, is looking more and more likely. But of course, a lot more is going to be needing.
I mean, yeah, a tour de force like that to keep yourself in the series is definitely going to be the momentum shift that you need. And I think it might be the first time that we've seen it connect, but that was to great avail. That was absolutely fantastic. And again, in years, there's going to be a bit of information. Getting out with the rendezvous, knowing that there's one peeking that, but not looking to go and push too much further then. Instead, Soniqs going to be keeping the classic and look at pressuring Thief over in Tree.
The hesitation even for both teams, you're starting to see it. Everyone kind of spread out all across the map, playing for those picks more than anything else. Jano is going to be detected, has to back up a little bit more, but the operator can do miracles for this team as they're trying to get us to match point.
Ooh, I mean, might not be a miracle yet, but that's definitely what Pioneers need. A missed shot though, Crunchy will get a second chance on life, but not for long. Knowing that there was a push into market off of that, JC Stanny able to pop around, grab that kill. And Pioneers, they already have the tools that it takes to be putting themselves into match point here. And with 30 seconds left, Soniqs have to start making a move. The move is going to be towards B. Gravitational well to slow them down just a little bit though. And the angles are already held. At this point, there's not even much health text either. And any push out, not going to be successful. There's going to be the shock darts going into Boathouse, but Bob popping around with the Phantom will at least find 2 to make this a little bit even. But 10 seconds to get it planted, and look, they're trying to hunt him down, and he's not gonna have time.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, it's an ease or nothing. One less opportunity here, even running out of time. And Thief gonna play this careful. Just want to give the ace to the enemy team, and the defense, in a very, very interesting way, is going to get to the match point. It's just because the spike was not able to get planted. The Shadow Pioneers pushing one by one, guaranteeing that Bob was going to have an absolute nightmare trying to get the spike down. And so, one more to go. The economy suffering a little bit for both sides. It's going to be a force for both of the teams. None of them really looking comfortable, but knowing that Pioneers has the confidence they need to win this second map.
Standing ahead.
Wow, that was such a round. That was so close, but so close is not going to be close enough. And Pioneers looking to just take this round, take this game in a dominant showing. But Hunter's Fury coming out from Bob will at least take down Thief to be able to find that back. But, I mean, if you're one away from taking this game, the Resurrection could come out, put Pioneers back in full force. But at least being able to push them off of their angles for a second, it will give Soniqs a chance to be pushing up and try and take market and go through B that way.
And the Empress is also coming out. Really good pick. A headshot immediately. And even the flash is not going to do enough because Thief is back in the game. Ready to get the kills. Getting that kill. Pushing the set of Pioneers already on match point in a 4v2. Where if you're Soniqs, you either play together, try to make something happen here at the same time, or the opportunities can be fading away for this team.
I mean, we saw Bob last round take 4 members down. We need Bob to come alive again. If Soniqs wants any hope of keeping them alive going into this, popping around at least is going to find a little bit of damage onto critical, but that is going to be about it. And Pioneers, knowing that they're so close in securing the round, will put the Cosmic Divide down. Bob gets 1, but so damage is going to be going down. And with that, Pioneers to secure this series in a 2-0 showing.